Welcome. We're so excited to meet you here at Resilience for Stressful Times. We're hoping that we provide some good information for you all today. I'm Michelle Stakutis. I'm the clinical director at Synergy in our counseling department. I see clients and I also help here. I'm a yoga teacher and I am very interested in mindfulness. So hoping that we can, you know, give you some information today. I'll turn it over to April.
I'm April Ropes, and I am the studio manager here at Synergy, and I'm also a yoga teacher. Really, really enjoy sharing the tips and tools that have helped me in my life through stressful times, through yoga and meditation and other things. So really happy to be here to do that with you this evening. So yeah, more people are joining us
Great.
now. And this video will be available on our social media and YouTube and all of that. So hopefully you can refer back to it when you need to. So we're going to actually start with a little centering and breath work. So I invite everyone to find a really comfortable seat. So if you are sitting in a chair, you might have your feet connected to the floor. If you're thinking about what you're sitting on, you're thinking about the sitting bones really connected to what you're sitting on. And you might imagine that what you're sitting on is the earth and that you are connected to the earth. Your feet are connected to the earth. You might even imagine you have roots growing out of your feet into the earth. And then allow your spine to be nice and tall without being rigid. So we like to say upright, but not uptight, right? And then allow the eyes to close, or you can just soften your gaze down toward the floor. And take a moment just to land in your body, be in your body. Noticing this amazing body just scanning through, starting at the crown of the head and beginning to soften as you land in this moment. As we connect to present moment, the breath is a wonderful tool. So I invite you to bring your hands to your belly. And on your inhale, begin to push your hands away with the belly. Fill the belly with breath. On your exhale, empty the belly. Feel the hands kind of drop in with the belly as the belly button draws in toward the spine. And then again, on your inhale, fill and expand the belly. And the exhale, empty the belly. Take a few more here as you connect to your parasympathetic nervous system. Belly breathing is a wonderful way to access this rest and digest mode, creating calm in the body and the mind. And then here we'll add a little bit more to this belly breathing. On your inhale, we'll start to count. So on your inhale, you'll count to the count of 4 on your own. And then at the top of the inhale, hold the breath to the count of 4. On the exhale, release the breath to the count of 4. And then at the end of your exhale, you'll hold that exhale for 4 counts. So we'll do this on your own for a couple of rounds here. Inhale, count of 4, hold the count of 4, exhale, count of 4, and then hold again to the count of 4. We'll begin. Good. And then on your next exhalation, go ahead and let go of your counting and then begin to flutter your eyes open. Bring your hands to your heart. Let's take a moment to set an intention for this time we have together, this moment that you'll be taking care of yourself and coming up with some wonderful tools for self-care.
A little gratitude for yourselves for showing up today.
Yeah,
Mm.
good. So again, thanks for joining us. This will be a really quick overview. We are actually going to be holding a longer workshop in December that'll dive a little bit deeper into these self-care tools and kind of tease out what really is on your agenda for self-care and what you can do when you're going through times of stress. So that's on December 2nd from 7 to 8, and it is also a live stream event. So do sign up for that if you're interested in learning more and working on some of this stuff a little bit more. I'll turn it over to Michelle.
Yeah, we're hoping that it will be interactive. For now, I encourage you all to have a pencil and a pen and a piece of paper, a journal, a notebook. We're going to be making a lot of suggestions and giving you ideas, for ways to care for yourself and ways to, manage your stress. So if you have an opportunity to write some ideas down, then when we have just 2 minutes at the end of our session, we can kind of make an action plan for ourselves. So, a lot of what we are going to talk about is raising awareness about what you're experiencing and how to help yourself feel better. Really, that's what it is. We talk about coping strategies and self-care, and we think sometimes that it's a selfish act. We're told, oh, we can't really do much for ourselves. And that's not actually true. The more we do for ourselves and the more centered we are, the fuller we are of, joy and rest and availability. If we're available to ourselves, then we can be that for other people. So, I tell my clients who are parents, at the airlines, they say, put your oxygen mask on yourself first. And that truly is what we need to do so we can be available to the people that we love. So, we are humans and we have lots of different facets. We have, physical needs and emotional needs, and we also have spiritual needs. And if we're looking at balancing our lives, balancing our activities, I feel like it's important to look at all the different places where we experience stress and in all the different ways that we can care for ourselves. Physically first, is what we see our bodies, what we feel on the outside and also on the inside. I would encourage you to think about your nutrition. Sometimes we're always rushing, and it might be easier to skip a meal or eat something in the car or just go to a fast food restaurant. And, if we're doing it and it's something that we decide and it's something that we do for self-care and make it easy for ourselves, that's fine. Is it something, though, that you may be doing a little bit too much of? What can you do to help yourself? Maybe pick a healthy snack or drink water. That's a big one for ourselves. Are we eating a lot of sugar? Or are we having cravings, stress eating? You know, the holidays bring and stress, bring a lot of opportunity for us to not be so kind and gentle to our bodies. And, where does that come in? So, I encourage you as we talk to take a minute and sort of write down, is there one idea that you have, one small thing that you change that you can make to even your daily routine? Drink a glass of water in the morning, or, you know, make sure that you have a healthy snack or an apple, you know, instead of reaching for potato chips or something that might not be quite as healthy for you. So, one idea for your physical and nutrition. Another thing is exercise. Sometimes we're either running around ragged and we think that, racing from the car to the store and back or racing to get our kids or our dogs walked is exercise. It can be. And I encourage all of us to do as much of it as we can, but am I moving my body? What feels good for me? When we're living in very stressful times and in, times where we have a lot of expectations, maybe work stress, maybe family stress, holiday stress, whatever it is, we we forget, how to take care of ourselves and we don't actually do the movement that feels good. Sometimes it's just a stretch, maybe just a stretch in the shower. Maybe it's just, big feeling what it feels like to be lying in your bed and go, that's just, the moment of relaxation. Maybe it's just to take your body and go outside. Just the act of walking outside and being in nature is very, very healing for us. We'll get back to that. We're talking 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes. Are you an all or nothing person like me? If it's not 3 miles, I'm not going to do it. Well, maybe even 5 minutes a day for 4 days. That's 20 minutes that you wouldn't have done last week. And think about that. It's getting colder. Yes. Unfortunately, we live in a place where sometimes it's cold, sometimes it's hot, sometimes it's both. Dress for it. The Norwegians say it's not bad weather, it's bad clothing. They're outside a lot.
Can I add
Um,
to that?
of
Can I add to
course.
that, Michelle? So a lot of what Michelle is saying about the movement piece is, I feel like, is so important. As a yoga teacher, I always think about the fact that when you're in your body, you are present and you're taking care of not just your body, but your mind and your energy, all of that. So important to move your body, but really be present in your body. So one of the things I like to do is a routine, and routine is so important. It sort of kind of forces you to do the thing right every day. Not forces you, but it kind of gets you in that mode. So for example, every morning I do a meditation, and after my meditation I always do my 6 movements of the spine. Do we have a few minutes? I can show some 6 movements of the spine. This is
Mhm.
something that we do in every yoga class, whether you realize it or not. But it's something that really is a great way to keep your spine healthy, but also to get you in your body and just get you moving. And so we can do this right now. We can do this you can do 6 movements of the spine seated. You can do it standing. You can, many ways in tabletop. So we'll do this in seated just for just a couple minutes, just to show you how quick and simple this could be as part of a morning routine. So, so go ahead and take your arms and bring them out to the sides and cactus. I don't know if you can see me in the screen because I'm kind of close up to my computer. See if you can draw your shoulder blades a little closer together and look up. Inhale. And then as you exhale, bring your elbows and forearms together and round your spine. I'll kind of come to the side so you can see rounding your spine. And then inhale, open back up, open the arms. Shoulder blades come together, look up. Exhale, round, elbows and forearms come together. Good. And then open back up. And then let the arms float back down to your side. So that's a couple of movements of the spine, flexion and extension, right? And now inhale, bring both arms up overhead. And then as you exhale, drop your right arm down to the right, reach your left arm up toward the sky, and then reach over to the right side. I know my screen is not fully encompassing my body here, but you get the idea. Inhale, both arms reaching up overhead, and then exhale, bringing your left arm down to the left and reaching your right arm over to the left side. Inhale, reach up, and then exhale, float your arms down to your side. So this lateral movement side to side. And then very easy, the last 2 movements of the spine, we're going to twist. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead, and then exhale, float the arms over to the right. Both arms, your left hand can come to your right thigh or knee. Your right hand can come behind your back, and then just look over your right shoulder. Good. You can stay here for any amount of time, or you can link your breath with your movement. So on your next inhale, bring the arms back up overhead, untwist, and then exhale, float the arms over to the left side. Look over your left shoulder, stay here for a couple of breaths here, feeling that beautiful twist in the spine. This can be nice and gentle and easy, nothing forced. And then inhale, bring the arms back up overhead, and then exhale, float the arms down. And then roll through your shoulders a few times. You just did 6 movements of the spine all in a couple of minutes. So congratulations.
Mhm.
So
Thank
very
you,
easy
April.
to do and incorporate into your morning routine or any day, any time of day. Yeah. I'll turn it back
Thank
over.
you. No, this, I feel more relaxed and more awake. I'm not sure how, but I do. In this, it's energizing. And also, it does. We can remember to bring our shoulders down, and it helps us quite a bit. Um, and, also rest. How do we rest? What do we do for rest? Many of us are right now doom scrolling on our phones. Sometimes we think rest is, checking in on social media, but sometimes that just makes us more stressed. Maybe rest is, just literally sitting outside or sitting inside or petting your cat or your dog. Maybe rest is for you, sleeping, taking a nap, making sure you have comfortable pajamas or a good place to rest. Um, what can you do? Can you maybe get blinds that shut out the light so you can get better sleep? Are you looking at screens right before you go to bed? Is there a small change that you can make that you can, help yourself get into a place of relaxation and a place of rest? So take a minute if you haven't already written down some ideas. Is there anything here in, how you care for your body, how you exercise, or, how you rest that you might want to take note of? And so I think this is probably the biggest piece of, our mental well-being is emotional well-being. How do we um, identify the feelings that we have? How do we know where they come from? And how do we help ourselves feel better if these feelings don't feel good? It is, unfortunately, humans can experience a wide range of emotions. And first, I want to just assure you that they're all okay. It is okay to be sad and sometimes angry, and it's okay to be upset, and it is okay to be happy and worried and all these things. But how are they affecting us? Are they, impacting our relationships? Are we worried and mad for ourselves? What's going on? And I think that the more we know about ourselves, the more we can step back and figure out how to care for ourselves and also take perspective because we all sometimes are not as nice to ourselves as we might be with a friend. And we all have the word should in our vocabulary, which is one of the words that I'd like to get rid of. We have guilt. We follow rules about things. And we sometimes don't ask, well, who said? Who made up this rule? Who said I have to do something a particular way? Can we change it? I think we just sort of sometimes mindlessly follow everybody else or what we think is an expectation. And it's really something that's stressful to us, and we do it automatically without deciding that we want to do it. So I think who said is a good question to ask yourself as you start to think about, your to-do lists over the holidays or, you know, in whatever particular situation. Is someone expecting me to behave a particular way or do something? And is that aligned with what I want to do? Is that aligned with my goals and my priorities? Very often we do something because we think someone might be upset if we don't. And I ask, is that a strong relationship? Is that something that you want to do for that person or particular way to be? I've heard many people say, well, we've always done it this way. Well, sometimes change is inevitable and change is a part of life. So if we change how we've always done it, is it better? Is it, more positive? Does it create less stress? Do we have to make the 17 dishes at Thanksgiving that, our great grandmothers used to make because the family has always done it this way? Maybe we could simplify a little. Um, Sometimes we just need a break. We can take a break. We don't like to give ourselves breaks. We think it's bad, it's selfish. But, sometimes just listening to music helps. When we talked about movement, my favorite thing to relieve stress is to put on some, lively Spanish music and dance. Dancing is movement. Dancing shifts our mood. Sometimes we listen to music to reflect what we're feeling if we're really angry or we want a sad song to cry. And sometimes we can shift our mood just by listening to a different song, something with the beat or something that we love. We can start to feel a little bit better. So, I encourage you all to think about your senses. What sounds good to you? What would you like to be listening to? Birds, maybe, or, some nice music. Maybe, what would you like to be feeling? Comfortable clothes better for you in this very moment? What do we believe we have to look like all the time? So, judgments, self-criticism, can we try to notice if we're not treating ourselves the way we would, be toward a friend and see if we can switch it up and be nice to ourselves. So, whatever kind of relaxation you like, I wrote some ideas, drawing, coloring, music, just breathing, journalism, journalism, journaling, poetry, movement, doing guided relaxations. There's plenty of apps, even YouTube. There's ways to get, a guided relaxation. You can do it on your own. Going outside and just watching the clouds or, caring for a plant or cooking something. Those are all creative expressions. And when we take time off, is when usually we have our best thinking and our best ideas. And again, unplugging maybe from toxicity. I am sure that not everybody on Facebook and Instagram has the kind of life 24/7 that they're showing us. It is not possible. So, let's not compare ourselves and let's not up the ante. How much media are we consuming? How much negative news, how much fear and anxiety, do we absorb from our environment and from current events and from others around us. Sometimes it's nice to feel validated. We know it feels good to be around people who feel the same way. But sometimes it's also kind of brings us down if all we're doing is, talking about the same stressors over and over again. How do we support each other and do something collectively that makes us all feel good? We also know that, I think that doing something for someone else always makes us feel good. So this brings us back to the final way that we can care for ourselves and is by acknowledging our, some spiritual dimension of ourselves, whatever that is for you. The idea of gratitude. What can we be grateful for? it there's lots of research that shows a gratitude practice helps increase our optimism, decreases our stress, and helps us think more clearly. So, maybe we can just be grateful for ourselves. You should all be grateful that you're here to watch this for 30 minutes and do some self-care and get some ideas about being nicer to ourselves. If we're not, who's going to be? And I think that that's really important. We care so much for others, but sometimes we could use some help and we can ask for it and we can be grateful and then we can give. In our communities, what do we do to support others? So I invite you again to take a minute and write down any ideas. And we'll take a little bit of a minute of a break so that you can maybe choose two things, two small things that you can do in your week, in your day. One thing to be grateful for, or, If you're commuting, 5 minutes in your car, breathing before you walk into the house. Or if you're working from home, 5 minutes before you open the door and, greet your reality. What small things can you do? Maybe a couple of them, just to make a little bit of a difference. And maybe you could even, give yourself a deadline or a time frame or, a goal of how often you would like to do it. Please don't say it's something every day if it's not likely for you to do. We want to be successful with this. It's one small thing. For me, literally, I think this week is going to be going outside. I get up in the morning and feel how cold it is. And just even that, taking a breath of fresh air. And the other part, some of us live in safer communities than others. Some have more opportunity to get outside, but just getting outside and taking a breath of air. It doesn't have to be daylight, it can be night. Sometimes night is the most beautiful time to be outside. We, depending on where we are, we can see the stars. So I'm hoping that was helpful. Go ahead, April.
Yeah,
Does that
those are
help?
some great tips and tools. I really appreciate that myself too. And another thing I just want to add too is the importance of, for me, a routine. I think I mentioned that before, just that kind of habit stacking where I think every morning if I don't do my meditation and my journaling and my movement, I feel like I haven't brushed my teeth. It's kind of like that. It gives me that opportunity to just kind of, um, you know, acknowledge my life and how important I am in in the grand scheme, like, all the people I'm connected to and how important self-care is and how it has a ripple effect on all the other people in my life that I come in contact with. So it's just an important routine is just an important part for me for acknowledging that and being grateful and starting my day right. So
Mhm.
hopefully you
Yeah,
can get
mine's a mindful cup of coffee before
there you
everyone
go.
wakes up.
Yeah.
I'm drinking my
Yeah.
coffee and
There you go.
myself enjoying it.
Yeah.
So, good
Yeah,
luck.
so yeah,
Hopefully, we'll see you in December.
yeah, we'll do a little bit more, fleshing out of these self-care, you know, plans going forward. So hopefully you'll join us, and I hope you got something out of this session tonight. Thanks for joining us. Thank you, everybody, for coming, and be
Have a
well.
great night.
Yeah, have a great night.
Thank you. Bye.